Now I invite our first speaker for the day, today's conference with a request to come on and share their views. Dr. Rania, Global Educator, STEAM Instructor, Greek Ministry of Education and Religious Affairs, Director of Educational Technology and Innovation, Greece, for the topic, the importance of entrepreneurship in school curriculum. Over to you, ma'am.
Greetings from Greece. I'm very honored to participate in this on-reaching and resourceful conference. Today we'll try to clarify some tenets of entrepreneurship in education, focusing on what it is, why it is relevant to society, and when it should be applied and how we can do this in practice. I want to suggest some effective strategies. So may I share my presentation?
Yes, ma'am, you can share.
So education is the driving force behind every country's economy, directly or indirectly. And so far, many schools have adapted to modernization and have started making students work in groups to solve problems, learn online, integrate science with art. But we can notice that even when students are not that are graduating, they still lack advanced skills and innovative thinking to work through the modern way challenges in the workplace. So they are not graduating as makers and cutting-edge thinkers the world needs. So entrepreneurship has the capacity not only to start companies, but also to think creatively. It's very important to be included in school curriculum. The idea of infusing entrepreneurship in education has incited much enthusiasm in the last few decades. The global community of entrepreneurial education proponents enthusiastic about the possibility of spreading the idea of entrepreneurship as it is believed to benefit the societies and economies in addition to influencing human development on an individual level. Many effects have been stated to result from this, such as economic growth, job creation, and increased societal resilience, but also individual school, increased school engagement and improved equality. Entrepreneurship education cultivates innovative talents, which are an important driving force for future development, and present innovation-driven development strategies place new demands on entrepreneurship education. However, putting this idea into practice has posed significant challenges alongside the positive effects, lack of time and resources, teachers' fear of commercialism, impeding educational structures, assessment difficulties, and lack of definitional clarity are some of these challenges that teachers have encountered when trying to infuse entrepreneurship into education. What is the definition? Entrepreneurship is the ability to turn ideas into action, to be innovative, to take initiatives, take risks, plan and manage projects with a view to achieving objectives. In the educational domain, we have there's a confusion between two terms, enterprise and entrepreneurial education. The first one is considered to be more narrow. It's actually, when we talk about opportunity identification, business development, self-employment, venture creation and growth, such as becoming an entrepreneur. And we have the wider definition of entrepreneurship, which includes personal development, creativity, self-reliance, initiative thinking, action orientation, etc. Why innovation is linked to entrepreneurship? Because innovation is seen as an internal driver. Innovation relates to an entrepreneurial mindset. Therefore, development of new product or entrance to new markets is the result of entrepreneurship. And education is an important way to acquire resources to enhance innovative ability, innovative personality, big multi-level learning channels for entrepreneurs by integrating various knowledge and value systems. From knowledge learning to skills improvement, entrepreneurship education includes general ability development and improvement of professional ability. So what about competencies? Entrepreneurial competency is the ability to identify opportunities and develop the necessary resources and capital in addition to technical, financial, and legal knowledge is related with fostering creative skills that can be applied in practices, education, environment, supporting innovation. Student entrepreneurs use multi-party interaction to achieve knowledge in the learning network. The innovation process is a result of interactions among the environment, organization, entrepreneurs. And this ability involves adaptive behaviors and strategies to influence other actions in context, thereby driving innovation and bringing high returns. When some experts decision makers were asked what are the main entrepreneurial abilities, they replied that this creativity, responsibility, risk-taking, problem-solving, team working, and entrepreneurial know-how. So what is now, what is important entrepreneurial education? Entrepreneurship focuses on developing real-world skills, world challenges that children will face later in their life. So we need real-world problems, authentic real-life problems that will help students to lead exceptional lives in a rapidly changing world, learn to understand the product development cycle, they come up with their own unique business models, and deliver presentations. So they can take action by addressing societal challenges and everyday problems based on their own interests and ideas. And this stimulates creativity, engagement, self-efficacy, but also uncertainty, ambiguity, which can be here a negative experience initially. In this way, students can be turned into teachers, telling their students about what they have learned through the process, and of course, at the same time, foster their leadership skills. So this way, they develop crucial life skills such as collaborate and work with a team, how to develop what we call public speaking through presentations, how to analyze and collect data, how to use social media to solve real life problems, as I said before, and find innovative approaches. And remember that education does not just benefit those who enter the fields of science, technology, or business. At the same time, students of art, of music, and humanities can develop their imaginations and learn how to apply creative thinking skills to real-world problems, because nowadays, business emphasizes the value of arts alongside with technical skills. So we need to adopt a holistic approach. And very, very important is that here the international trend here in Europe also is that we need to start at an early age entrepreneurship education with abilities such as problem solving, team working, creativity, not necessary business competencies, especially the first in primary education. So what are the benefits? Of course, prepare students for the future, foster the creativity and collaboration, because we live in a very unprecedented world. We have we're full of problems, complex global social environmental issues. We need students learn, first of all, before solving a problem, we need to identify problems. So we need to focus on this. And after this, problem solving is the next step. Why very, very important how to encourage girls and women, because women, we all know that they are all underrepresented in leadership position, and this has created a gender gap that exists in almost every industry. And this happens also to STEM education. I'm saying that because I'm a STEM instructor and I'm trying to support all these initiatives that encourage girls into STEM education. And entrepreneurship education leads skills develop their leadership skills, embrace their competitive side. They learn to take more risks. According to research, women are more likely than men to take risks. And entrepreneurship education helps students from all socioeconomic backgrounds to think out of the box and nurture unconventional talents and skills, create opportunities, ensures social justice, confidence, stimulates social the economy. And of course, this is a lifelong process, starting at primary education, progressing all levels of education, including adult education. So this way we can develop initiative young people, help them to be more creative and self-confident. Many times they ask if entrepreneurs are made or born. Of course, we all know that we can teach entrepreneurship, and this is a social interaction process. This entrepreneurship education may change our students' attitudes towards entrepreneurship. At the same time, entrepreneurship education provides students, entrepreneurs with information, knowledge, and other resources they need, forming a strong atmosphere of innovation, entrepreneurship, reducing environmental uncertainty, creating good environment for innovation development. So provides a comprehensive learning management for student entrepreneurs. Here we can see on different levels what are the benefits, individual, organization, societal level. And now we talk about how. First of all, students can practice interview questions, conduct interviews with entrepreneurs. They can use art because when they come up with business ideas, they can also try to think how they will present their ideas in aesthetic view. So art is very necessary. Thinking skills teach students to think on what is positive or strong about their work. So develop critical thinking. Imagination, creativity goes along with imagination, innovation, and research skills because students should make their research before they decide what they want to, how they want to develop their product, what will be the product and how they want to develop it. So we need, what are the strategies? Let students construct entrepreneurial stories in their own life. That will help them develop their opportunity skills. Let them imagine themselves as entrepreneurial individuals in the distant future. Let them work in disciplined terms and let them reflect upon problems and needs of their society, because the product that we create will be based on special need in their community, on their society. So what could be the activities that could trigger entrepreneurial competencies? Teachers can give them, they give students assignments to create value, preferably innovative, to external stakeholders based on problems, opportunities students identify. And this could trigger creativity, said before. Service learning is very, very important. Teachers interested in working with entrepreneurial education could probably learn much from service learning initiatives, because components of successful service learning problems, a common challenge is how to create an activity that truly matches the needs of the community with the learning needs of the student. Design thinking is also very important, and organize interaction with the outside world. For instance, in schools, in my school, we had organized a bazaar where children created some models of the answer water technology, and they created a small company about this. They sell all the products, and we sent all the income of the money to students in Africa where they implement multinational projects about water. So I think that the entrepreneurship can many pedagogical applications. And how we can assess all this. For instance, we can have student diaries, novel ways to assess entrepreneurship, student observation, emotional critical event. Why emotion? Because according to recent research, emotions are key to attributing meaning to our learning experiences. And we can see we're talking about holistic approach that entrepreneurs and students are not robots. We need also to focus on the human dimension, the human aspect and emotional aspect. Here in Europe, we have this started the Commission 26. And this commission actually is inspired by all this effort of the European Union to focus on learning about entrepreneurship from primary education to the university. And what are the recommendations? They suggest a coherent framework, support for schools, so they try to foster entrepreneurship in higher education because entrepreneurship should be incorporated in various subjects. Participation by external actors and businesses, support, of course, for teachers should be given teachers initial and in-service training as well as practical experiences. And the practical experience, why? Because one of the most effective ways to promote entrepreneurial mindset and skills is through learning by doing. And we have also some examples in Europe, Imagina competition, the BOSS Festival. In Spain, we have another problem education change system, very, very interesting project. And here in Greece recently, students have created an enterprise for students with education needs, with visual impairment. And at the same time, they use STEM education. I think it's the ideal how to create project combining entrepreneurship and STEM education using Arduino. Here, this project we have sensors, etc. So this way, through entrepreneurship, we can make the world better and solve problems, meet needs. And because students this way, they're hardwired to make a difference and make the world a better place. And despite its promising effects, we need to keep in mind that this is at a quite early stage of development. It is still a marginal pedagogical approach, but in the future, we can hope for greater awareness of the need to develop and establish progression model, new models for entrepreneurial education. We can also hope for researchers identifying some unifying characteristics of entrepreneurial education across all levels of education. To a higher degree, and in the future, teachers will hopefully have access to classification frameworks and other support material, allowing them to pick and choose from a wide variety of pedagogical tools. Thank you very much for your attention. If you have any question, I am at your disposal.
Thank you, ma'am, for such an insightful session. Anybody having any question can raise their hand or they can just pop their message in the chat box. We are having a person with the name Sanatan. He has raised his hand.
Am I audible?
Yes, you are audible.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to ask some question. Rania Lampou, ma'am. How are you, ma'am?
Hello.
How are you?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Welcome to India. I would like to ask a question. Can I ask now?
Yes.
Does entrepreneurship education aid students from all socioeconomic backgrounds to think outside the box and nurture unconventional talents and skills?
I didn't hear you well. Can you repeat the question? Because I didn't hear the question.
Do I repeat it, madam?
You can, moderator, can repeat the question?
Okay, ma'am. Does entrepreneurship education aid students from all socioeconomic backgrounds to think outside the box and nurture unconventional talents and skills?
Yes, what we think that actually entrepreneurship creates out of the box thinkers, empower them to become innovators and creators. And this is what I'm trying as a STEM instructor is to combine this with STEM education. I think it's the ideal. And I'm very happy because here in Greece, for the first time in our curriculum, the minister announced a new discipline, at all levels of education, which is called labs of innovation and lab skills, which includes life skills. And there is not only robotic system, but also entrepreneurship. That means that our politicians take into consideration all these recommendations made by European Union and other policymakers, and they try to integrate this in our curriculum. I'm very happy about this. So all teachers from here in Greece will have the opportunity to experiment with this. And very, very important is outdoor activities. It's very, very important because teachers, students will have the opportunity to learn through natural, activities near the nature. So they can learn how to respect the environment, etc. So all that we can see, all this holistic approach, environmental education, entrepreneurship, STEM education, technology, all that they can be combined in only one project. This is the magic of interdisciplinarity and of STEM education in only one program. So we can talk actually about innovation. For the first time, we can talk about innovation out of the box thinking.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, to give me that. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering. Actually, I was going through the chat box and all was saying that the session was really informative and wonderful. Thank you so much, ma'am. We will keep inviting you in event and we will learn from you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you very much.